YouTube lovers, my name is BB8 and today I am going to review Splatoon 3 Side Order. I know I'm very late to reviewing Splatoon 3 Side Order, but I think with how much was coming out at the time Splatoon 3 Side Order came out, it just took me a long time to get to it. I mean, I told friends who were Splatoon fans that I hadn't played Side Order, and then they kept telling me, hey, Splatoon 3 Side Order's pretty good, you need to give it a play. And surely I didn't believe them at first, because there is no possible way that any Splatoon campaign was going to top Octo Expansion. So recently, I finally gave Side Order a play, and it was actually pretty good. I can't believe I slept on this DLC for nearly 2 years after its launch, because this came out in February of 2024, and I only just about played it. So, without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? For the gameplay, Splatoon 3 Side Order takes the overall Splatoon formula and merges it with roguelike progression in a way that actually works, with each floor of the Spire of Order providing random challenges as you progress, encouraging you to adapt to each environment and allows you to experiment as you progress up the Spire. The run-based structure does keep every attempt fresh and not repetitive, only because of how different the order is, and the amount of chip challenges do make progression feel rewarding, and it's not overwhelming either. And by the time you've managed to settle into the loop manages to become addicting. And to be honest, I thought Splatoon 3 Side Order was going to be one and done and that was it. But after trying Side Order myself, I'm very pleased at how often I came back to it after I've completed my first run with Pearl's Palette. And what enhances the gameplay even further is how each palette is different, with unique loadouts and how they would affect each run and what types of strategies you can use as you progress. And the Spire does get intense as you progress, and it complements the fast-paced action that Splatoon is known for quite well, which ensures that the overall gameplay loop of Splatoon 3 Side Order remains compelling and approachable for those who've not played Splatoon or anything roguelike before. And the greatest strength of Side Order is how it manages to encourage players to experiment with different chipsets as they progress through each run. For the graphics and the performance, in terms of visuals, Splatoon 3 Side Order manages to set itself apart with the monochrome aesthetic, with the absence of colour within Side Order's corner of the Splatoon world, with the contrast of vibrant ink, does manage to give Splatoon 3 Side Order its own unique tone that does manage to feel unique from everything else in the franchise. And this visual identity does reinforce the story theme of Order's influence, while also ensuring that the gameplay stands out, such as your actions literally bringing colour and life back into the world, which does make for something that's stylish and memorable at the same time. Performance-wise, Splatoon 3 Side Order does run exactly the same as base Splatoon 3, but after revisiting Splatoon 3 for Nintendo Switch 2, the hub worlds are now at 60 FPS. But if there's one nitpick I do have with the cutscenes of Splatoon 3 Side Order on Nintendo Switch 2, is that they still run at 30 frames per second, while the gameplay still runs at 60. And despite what the chip upgrades do to you and the amount of enemies you have to encounter at once, the frame rate does hold up pretty well, despite the amount of enemies being fired at you at once. And the UI and the animation work put into the different aspects of Splatoon 3 Side Order does make every run feel lived in, and even during some moments that felt a bit more intense. And the way Nintendo polished Splatoon 3 Side Order does make Splatoon 3 one of Nintendo's most confident pieces of content in terms of visuals, and Side Order is no exception to that. For the characters, first of all, I want to address the elephant in the room. The Pearl Drone is an adorable highlight of Splatoon 3 Side Order. They literally had the potential to make merchandise out of this thing, but didn't. Seriously, Nintendo, I do think it was a big mistake that you didn't turn the Pearl Drone into either a plushie or an amiibo. But back to it. Whether the Pearl Drone is talking to you between floors or helping you out as you progress through the different floors, the Pearl Drone does bring in tons of charm and personality into the mix as well, meaning the Pearl Drone isn't entirely useless or a marketing hook either, which does make the chemistry between Agent 8 and Pearl feel earned. An Order, while not quite reaching the status of either DJ Octavio or Mr. Grizz, still serves as a functional antagonist for Side Order. His role does lean more into the overall atmosphere of Side Order, but the approach does suit the overall focus of Side Order as an expansion. And the supporting cast does include some faces I really enjoyed in Splatoon 2, as well as the return of Agent 8 from Octo Expansion. For the story of Splatoon 3 Side Order is simple, but still manages to get me in because of the world building set up by Pearl and Marina. Using this virtual world extracted with colour and an endless Spire structure, well, not quite endless because there's only 30 floors in there, to explore the themes of control and creativity. Instead of relying on the different cutscenes, the story does unfold through what's told through the environment and the pieces of lore that you can unlock as you obtain the different keys, such as some social media stories from Pearl and Marina, and some journal entries as well. And this minimal approach does work quite well. And as you climb higher, it does start to build up. Although there isn't an awful lot of plot twists to go around here, you do have the feeling that something's wrong with the Spire itself. And your journey to the top does become more about restoring this virtual world and discovering yourself than defeating the villain itself, giving Side Order its own unique flavour compared to other Splatoon campaigns. And while the story doesn't quite get there like Octo Expansion did, it still provides the mystery and making it strong thematically even after the credits have rolled. The main reason I came back to Splatoon 3 is to build up my hype for Splatoon Raiders, but after checking out Splatoon 3 Side Order, it managed to become one of the strongest things of post-Splatoon 3 Nintendo's probably delivered, and has not topped Octo Expansion. The addictive roguelike gameplay loop, the visual identity, and the character interactions do make Splatoon 3 Side Order an overall joy to play. Even though the story is a bit shallow in comparison to Octo Expansion, Side Order does manage to work pretty well. And the soundtrack didn't hit any new highs for the franchise, like Fly Octo Fly, Nasty Majesty, or Calamari Incantation, but still manages to provide a solid soundtrack. And overall, the package is what you would expect out of a Splatoon expansion, even if the gameplay is different. And that is why I give Splatoon 3 Side Order the collector perk with the certified silver accolade. And overall, I give Splatoon 3 Side Order a 9 out of 10. While Octo Expansion still holds the crown for Splatoon campaigns, not just in paid DLC, but in general, Side Order does come close to Octo Expansion, closer than expected. With how high the replayability is, how engaging the world building is, giving it its own unique identity that does complement rather than replacing Octo Expansion, and for any Splatoon player who's looking for something to do after beating the story, Side Order is definitely a must-play. So guys, what did you think of my review of Splatoon 3 Side Order? And I want to hear from you. If you've got around to playing Side Order, what did you think about it? So, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and turn your notification bell on so you don't miss another review video like this one in the future. And I will see you all in a future video. BB8 out.